Time to relax. Nissan butter coconut.
Nissan Butter Coconut.
I have had it with trying to organize all my tasks, due dates, and documents across a million different apps. So I tried ClickUp. Now I can stay on top of my tasks in one place, visualize and manage work my way, and collaborate on documents with my team, all in one tool. Now with ClickUp, all my work is finally in one place. Get ClickUp today.
You've got mail. You've got mail. You've got mail. You've got mail. You've got...
The internet has, since its inception, been filled with some of the most outlandish, horrific, and disturbing content that by today's standards are completely depraved. But back in the early days of the World Wide Web, this type of content was everywhere, and had more than one website dedicated to it. Rotten.com, Ogrish, LiveLeak, and many more, all known for one thing: shock content. This was a very unfortunate part of the early online culture, and still to this day, haunts corners of the internet. But in 2014, an anonymous user of one of these sites would take it too far and start one of the biggest ongoing manhunts the internet has ever seen. It's the early 2010s, and the internet has changed forever. The rise of social media made many websites near fully irrelevant, relics of the past in an instant. On top of this, more stringent rules from Google and a closer eye from the government made certain websites have to either change their ways or die holding on to their identity. Websites like the previously mentioned and many more were quickly getting shut down, or having to change their rules and ways of enforcement fairly quickly to stay in a legal gray zone. This was due to a court case against the website known as bestscore.com, a website that hosted, well, you can kind of guess by the name. But there was one specific video that they hosted on their website, and it was what got the entire thing shut down. One man, one ice pick. In 2012, Luca Magnotta murdered a man named Jun Lin and uploaded the video onto the website. This then led to the arrest of the owner, Mark Merrick, in 2013, for the charge of corrupting morals. A very rare charge, but a very severe one passed out by Canadian law enforcement, prohibiting the creation, publication, or possession of obscene material. This set a major precedent in the way websites were to operate, and as coverage of the Merrick arrest and criminal proceedings started to gain more traction by mainstream news outlets in 2014, more and more public outrage started to come down on Google, and the internet as a whole, to crack down on sites like Merrick's. On top of this, at the exact same time, a well-known terrorist organization began to post increasingly graphic propaganda online anywhere they saw fit. This led to a massive snowball effect, as other shock site operators saw the outcry and the arrest and began proactively shutting down and restricting content to avoid a similar fate. Because of this, many of these websites could not keep going, and the ones that did wouldn't last very long. Ogrish effectively vanished and became part of LiveLeak, which would be shut down later in 2021. This would be the fate of many of these websites, especially since website host providers started to effect stricter rulings, destroying what little websites like this existed. But on top of this, as stated previously, social media was on the rise and was quickly eating away at the share of user attention that other websites had. The shock sites just couldn't keep up. But unfortunately, one of them tried their hardest and succeeded for a time. In 2014, in the midst of all the website shutdowns and legal battles, one website went by practically unscathed. This being due to the way that they handled the new web hosting terms of service, deathaddicts.com. Death Addicts was a little different from the other major shock websites from the get-go. They were privatized, a closed community of folks in it for the worst of the worst. Unlike these other sites, you actually needed to register an account to be here and view most of the content, with the most risky of content having been locked behind private threads, only for veterans of the website to see. This allowed moderators stricter control over what can and can't be seen with a simple account sign-up. On top of this, they had a very strict proactive moderation policy on anything considered legally risky, as gore itself is not technically illegal. Some forms of it can be, but things such as historical videos and things considered medical fall into legal gray areas. This bought them a lot of time and made them practically immune to the changes. It also made them the de facto website for all things graphic, taking in more and more users from the now gone shock sites that once sat on top of the web. And with this newfound popularity of the site came something sinister. In the beginning of our story. In 2014, on both deathaddicts.com and on the 4chan board /B, a new user would abruptly make a name for himself.
The radio, that'll drown him out. Go disco. Easy listening. Country western. World music. Urban smooth. Salsa fusion. Wow, Metallica. Am I on drugs?
Yes, you are. But that really is Metallica. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm late for a gumdrop parade on Fufu Island.
What's up, Metallica? Need a lift?
We don't take rides from strangers.
I'm no stranger, remember this? Metallica rules!
Oh, yeah! Springfield Arena 97, row XX, seat 64. I was about to quit the band when I saw your lighter. You saved me that night.
So what are you waiting for? Hop in!
Hop in what?
Look at me, I'm Otto. I'm 100 years old and I drive a school bus.
Oh, man. Maybe me and Metallica can go splitsies on a cab.
Hey, loser! We got a ride from a real fan.
I used to sleep with Lars's grandmother.
Never listen to our music again.
Bye-bye. Take care. Watch your step. Eat my shorts. Have a good one.
I love
extra rice.
Ngayon, may extra rice na, sarap ulam, at daming sauce ang Max-Saver Sulit Busog Meals. 99 pesos lang.
Crunchy seafood sarap! Mang-wow!
Switch to relax mode. Try C2 Cool Blends in Dalandan, Peach, and new Freeze Melon.
We're cooking some wasp stir fry. It's delicious.
Hey, look here, folks. This is what happens when you get you one of these here things from Tractor Supply or Harbor Freight. I put this up to the hole over here where we got these wasps coming out of. They were all resting on the side of the wood, and I just put it up to all these at one spot. Stuck it up to them. Pushed my little button over here that activates the juice and zapped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about like 15, 16, 17 little wasps all at one time.
Amazon ants are like tiny ant pirates. They can't collect food or take care of their babies, so they invade other ant colonies, mostly Formica ants. Amazon ants carefully look for a vulnerable colony to raid, waiting for the right moment when the Formica ant workers are few or distracted. During these raids, they steal baby ants. When these kidnapped ants grow up, they work for the Amazon ants without realizing they've been stolen. They perform various tasks, like gathering food, tending to the queen, and taking care of the colony, essentially becoming slaves to the Amazon ants.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids. 'Cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that
Hello, I'm Simon, the smart one. He's Alvin, the awesomest one. And I'm Theodore. Theo, you're not helping. I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny.
No, not if we all look the same. I don't. Well, we are krill. We are meant to look the same. Not me, Bill. There's only one of me in all the world. I am one in a trillion.
akin na lang yan.
Oh, sa'yo na to. Pagtamis alat sarap, sita ko to.
I am Gardenier Kelly, and I am going to study plants. What was that? Ah, it's just grass. Oh my God. It is monster delicious, huh? I need to check this soil. Yes. Good stuff. Oh.
Pardon me. Have you seen my...
This. Oh. I told you already. Now, smoking. I should have done this long ago. Left, down, right, up. 10,000 the cliff. What he said. Any last wish? Oh, look. Oh my God. It is fine. Ella still get. Spy! I love you!
Oh, merde. Go away. Ow, ow, ow!
Oh no.
Push that giant button next to the subscribe button.
Don't worry, boys. The engineer
Game
is here.
Pinoy sarap ng chicken skin. Mangwaw!
Try Vicks Vapor Rub Extra Strong with 2 times menthol para sa iyong tough cough and cold symptoms.
Little man. Yeah? What's that?
It's a spandis!
Ah! You like bugs? Go ahead, run below now.
All right. Yeah. Woo! Woohoo! Ah! 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 Damn. Demo.
What the bloody hell? Ah! I'm gonna beat you so hard.
Well, game on then.
Ain't that cute?
Yes.
You're ugly.
Bloody hell!
Feel the burn. Let's go.
Oh,
Who did it? Huh? Oh.
did you know that ants can lift and carry more than 50 times their own weight?
No.
That's so cool, right? Right?
Happy, happy, happy! Happy, 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 happy! Push that giant button next to the subscribe button.
Here's one of my favorite life hack that's been a total game changer for me, Grammarly. It's not just a spelling or grammar checker. Grammarly is an AI writing tool that helps you in any situation. You can use it across 100,000 apps and websites. Plus, you can adjust the tone of your writing to fit any situation, whether you're writing a professional email or casually messaging your friends. Grammarly has helped me communicate so much better. And the best part, they have a free version that's absolutely fantastic.
Love the flavor. Love the crunch.
Love stacks?
I do. Love snacks.
fanfictions you want to exist, but you can't or won't write them yourself. Are there any specific fic plots, tropes, pairings, etc. that you want to read, but don't yet exist in your fandom, and you can't or won't write them yourself for whatever reason? Feel free to be as specific or vague as you'd like. Credit to Reddit user Rarity's Diamonds for starting this thread on the fanfiction subreddit. Now let's go read some answers before I talk a little about my own. And also, there might be a few spoilers for various fandoms, just so you know. Any multi-chapter idea, cause it's just, I don't have it in me to write anything with more than 2 chapters. I just do not. Oh, same. I've only managed to finish one fic over 2 chapters in over 10 years of writing. Some soulmate fic where the fated pair don't end up together. Sometimes I just want to read about this kind of story where character A was a jerk to character B and character B doesn't forgive character A even though they are soulmates. Beetlejuice x Star Wars. If no one does it for me, I'll do it myself, but it'll be a long time before I've cleared my plate enough for that. Hitchhiking characters meeting canon characters from the same series. I don't really like writing stories with too many characters at once, especially ones that take place in places I've never heard of. Fics like that are hard to find, not many exist out there. I'm on a Wicked movie kick, and I want all of the Glinda/Elphaba fic to exist. I also want a fanfic where Elphaba gets her hair micro-braided, and how she maintains it. So, a while ago, I saw this post somewhere that said Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Nancy Downs from The Craft look like they could be father and daughter. And from that blossomed a beautiful idea of a crossover AU fic of those two doing father-daughter activities. I went to look for it, but was shocked to discover that not only did the particular fic I had in mind not exist, but neither did any crossovers of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and The Craft. I haven't actually gone out of my way to rate this myself because I don't particularly enjoy rating crossovers. It's always disappointing when something you assumed would have a fic just doesn't. Hopefully someone else will see that post too and get inspired to write. I need some Five Nights at Freddy's One Piece crossover, but I'm too lazy to do it myself. It sounds vague, but I'd like more yandere AU fics for my fandoms. The part of just seeing how far someone would go for someone they love makes the AU interesting for me, and I love seeing why a character would go so far with someone else. Is it because of some soulmate thing, or is it some deeper reason? Like the other character was the only one who could make the first character feel loved and free, making them terrified of the other character being taken away from them. A lot of characters could become yanderes if you tweak them enough, but I don't really care about who's the yandere, so long as I can see the more psychological aspects, if that makes sense. However, most of my fandoms are small, and the biggest one got popular by TikTok, so that means more controversial topics are immediately judged. Yandere AUs generally have those controversial topics, so it's not a popular AU in a TikTok popular fandom, and it's not often seen in the smaller fandoms, if at all. For why I don't write any, yandere AUs typically involve physical torture, and while I'm fine with writing characters being emotionally tortured or manipulated, I don't like writing characters being physically harmed. Even if I did, because of the controversial topics associated with yandere AUs, I don't feel like defending myself from Puritans and trying to reason that I'm not a bad person because I wrote something controversial. A witch hunter/warlock AU. I feel like the tension there could be brilliant, but writing it myself doesn't seem like the best idea since the taboo qualities of it may not mend well with the rest of the fandom. Ooh, that sounds like a very fun dynamic. I'd imagine the taboo-ness is the appeal, but yeah, it can definitely be tough if your fandom isn't into that as much. Is it so bad to want Blue Lock fics about the actual football and not just the ships? An AU that isn't college, office, coffee shop, or sex worker. I want something unique. My fandom has literally 2, and one of them I didn't like because I found it very triggering, a lot of psychological hurt and very little comfort. But I'm not much of an AU writer, and also just feel I can't do with it what I want. Character A being an antagonist, like in their canon appearance. There's only 2 fics with this concept, and I've already read one of them, but it would be nice to see more. Most of the fics I find with them are set in the episode they only appear in, which I'm not interested in reading. Only 2 fics with the antagonist being an antagonist? That's wild. I hope you get more. Lawlight from Death Note as Hannibal AU. I have the long fic planned out in my notes, but I probably will never get around to writing it since there isn't a high demand for it. A super wumpy, hurt no comfort, angst-filled fic containing some heavy tags such as CSA, chronic and/or terminal illnesses, parental regret, a long journey of recovery, and a lot of emotional ups and downs centered around parent-child relationships. This has been an ongoing daydream I think of when I go to sleep and feel like wallowing in self-pity. I've had it for years, and at this point I could potentially write a whole book in the style of A Little Life about it, but it would just take too much emotional weight, effort, and time for me to write it in full, and in a way that satisfies my perfectionist ass, so it's probably just going to live in my head. Mine is very similar, and I too think of it when I'm laying down to sleep. I've written countless scenes just to scratch some itch, but I always hate it and always start over. Canon character coming out as trans, but the characters react in character. I just find it really disingenuous that characters who are canonically bigoted, and aren't just bigoted because the author is, are reworked to be completely supportive.
Can your cologne beat BO? Cologne may not be enough. Bust odor and smell irresistible. Axe.
I get why it happens, but it always takes me out of the story. An AU based on the old cartoon I saw as a child with 2 of my fave ships. One of the elements there was that 2 protagonists accidentally swapped their quests and ended up saving each other's fiancés, and obviously ending with their new lovers. It's just too neat. The problem, no one would write it except me, because it's a cartoon from my country, which is from the 60s, I think, and I seriously doubt anyone in my main fandom saw it. Superman fanfic, het or slash, with a family, in which the world finds out about Clark being Superman. I know a couple of these fics, but I definitely want more. There's like a whole season worth of new content I could describe for Young Justice, but I can't imagine writing that entire thing. Lord of the Rings Frodo/Sauron AU that lives rent-free in my head. Wait, this actually sounds interesting. Tell me more.
No.
1/456 from Squid Game, but Gi-hoon is actually on the frontman's side, whether by having played the games in 2015 together, or after the 2020 games, 456 has offered to become one's partner after having piqued his interest. I was really into the first season of Shadow and Bone until the ending. The main character watches a whole city be consumed by shadows, and despite being the only person able to make light, just leaves. All those poor people. I have this whole fic planned out in my head of her going to help, very search and rescue, that leads her to being deified and having actual political power. The only issue is that I haven't finished the series, season 2 was rough, or the books. I feel just a tad uncomfortable writing for a series I don't even know the ending to. Plus, I already have like 6 works in progress for my main fandom that I've been steadily working on. I need more Avatar, Sokka/OC, or Sokka/UA fics. I've read them all. I'm surprised there aren't more Sokka/UA fics.
We need cash. What happened to our stash? I bought an electric guitar. I rented a shiny car.
I went out to lunch. But McDonald's is a thrifty munch. I purchased a random flute.
I hired a prostitute.